Hi folks, how are you? John from Designed Elegance Pastry Shop here. Hope you're doing well. I certainly am. So for today's lesson, we are going to make my own creation called Bittersweet Almondine bars. This is something that I came up with over the years. I've changed it, fine-tuned it a little bit here and there. But you'll never find this in another person's cookbook. So I hope you enjoy the process, and if you go and try them for yourselves the way that I'm going to make them now, you will certainly have something that people are going to want to enjoy, and something you can share with a lot of people. So anyway, to get started, we're making homemade candy bars. Okay, now I like almonds. I like chocolate. I like almonds. It's my thing. It's just personal, But anyway, years ago, I made my own mock creation of a candy bar with almonds and chocolate and lots of yumminess and texture and crunch and so on. So I'm going to share that with you here today. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a crust. We're going to use Oreo chocolate cookies, basically Oreos, and we're going to make a crust, and then we're going to make a middle layer, which is going to be a chocolate ganache, a very dense, rich chocolate ganache, and it's going to have baked almonds folded into it, and then for the top, we're going to use a nice almondine ganache that we will then decorate pleasing to the eye. So let's get started with our cookie shell, okay, the first layer in the process. And what I'm going to do is I've got one full package of, chocolate cookies here. Now, the hard part is not eating any along the way. You really shouldn't. Now, maybe we could eat one. Here you go.
Like dessert?
Mm-hmm. Part of the hazards of the job, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these whole and everything right here in the mixer with the paddle. I'm going to turn it on low. Okay, I'm going to start breaking these up. There you go. Now, while that's happening, I'm going to take, now, this is a 14.5-ounce package of cookies, chocolate cookies. They're not the double stuff, they're just regular chocolate, Oreo cookies. So, we're going to use a half a pound of butter to mix into the cookie crumbs. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slightly melt it, okay? That way, well, what we want is for this to end up becoming like a sauce, okay? And if we melt the butter before we add it into the chocolate cookies, then it's just going to expedite the process. So give me 1 second, well, 30 seconds, and I'll be right back. All right. Let me... See, check this out. This isn't even completely melted. What I'm going to do, this is good because I'm going to just add some of it. There we go. Let that mix. And I'm going to melt this too. Now, by adding it in just part at once and then the rest of it after, it actually helps to smooth it more gradually. Now that I have that butter in, notice I turn it up so you can give it more action. What we want is for this to completely break down. And I'm going to go ahead and add some more butter very slowly. There we go. Alright. See how pulverized it is? Alright, it's going to come back into a solid lump. Should anyway. Still a few little chunks. We'll let it mix for another couple of minutes. Sometimes you just gotta let the mixer do the work, you know? Okay, so while that's mixing, now, I'm not baking on this, but holding the paper in place, the spray is to hold the paper in place. And when I'm done, this is going to come out of the pan a whole lot easier with this paper on here. So that's the purpose of the parchment. Oh yeah, all the pieces are very small now. They're very, very, less than pea-sized. So that's what we want. Okay, so now what we want to do is just dump that right out. Okay, so now I'm going to use my spatula here, and I'm just going to start spreading it. Want to try and keep it nice and even. Anywhere you see a whole, an empty spot, there's probably a big crumb next to it. So sometimes the crumb just needs to be smashed in a little bit. See how I'm doing this? There you go. And that basically fills things in. Alright. There we go. That's about as good as it's going to get, my friend. But it's about as good as it needs to be. It's as good as it needs to be. There we go. This one here's bothering me. There we go. Oop. Gotta get that little guy there. Alright. So now, basically, look at that. We actually got a whole thing covered up. See? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just take this, put it in the fridge. We want to chill it down, and basically what that's going to do is make it so that it will be completely solid. It'll be, basically it'll be solid, and then what we can do is pour the next layer on top without worrying about shifting this or moving it or creating a thin spot in any which way. So basically we'll pop this in the fridge, and then we'll start prepping for the next layer. Basically the main thing is we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to bake some almonds, okay? I have some whole almonds and I have some sliced almonds that I want to bake in the oven. I want to bake them until they're just a little golden brown. Basically, we're going to bake them a little bit less than you would do cookies. So we're going to go about, 6 to 8 minutes on one side and then about 4 or 5 minutes on the other. And what we're doing is we're basically just giving them a little bit of extra flavor by baking them. So we'll take care of that, and we'll be back shortly.